Just another day in Canadian land. -7. Now, before we put our fourth turbo on this, I have some exciting news. We finally dropped our brand on the website. This is our own brand, Black Sheep Industries. This is one of the HD clamps. We have aluminum clamps here with O-rings for charge piping. And then we have the stainless steel V-bands. These are all 3-inch. I'll take this apart here in a second. It's like a vibrant style clamp, so that's neat. Now these are actually super affordable, comparable to like Amazon prices. And if you're concerned about quality, this is an Amazon 3-inch V-band flange, or clamp, compared to how heavy this one is. I wish I could weigh them, because this one is significantly heavier. And you can see that it's significantly thicker there too. Also, your Amazon one does not come with this little lip. So these actually lock in place and you know you're gonna get a good seal every time. Black Sheep Industries Inc. The link is down below. Use code word BoostedLifestyle for 10% off. Last video we got our 3 turbos mounted here. These ones are just tacked up. This one's almost fully welded. The third one's gonna be like a bit of an S because it has to come out over here. But we'll get it done.
Take it all back, hate the things that you said, cause I wish you didn't mean it. I'm under attack, running far away, and I'd rather keep my distance from you. You don't gotta lie to me to get through. Push and pull me off into the deep, and let's pretend that nothing ever happened on that night.
Here it is, number 4. I didn't weld it on yet, right here, but this is kind of the idea of our manifold. What I'm gonna do is I had a heat plate here, right here, this steel one, that I just bolted it to so we didn't warp the flanges bad. Huge shout out to Milron. Not only did they supply the bends that we used for this manifold, we also got a bunch of stainless bends for new manifolds, so we can build proper tubular manifolds. They also supplied us with some more tubing for our manifolds. This is for log manifolds. And look at all this billet aluminum heatsink plates that they provided for us. So now we can make aluminum heatsink so we don't warp our flanges. We just have to recreate that on there.
I shouldn't have spoke, cause you didn't feel the same way about me, and it's eating me alive all of the time. So I'd rather keep my distance from you. You don't gotta lie to me to get through. Push and pull me off into the deep, and let's pretend that nothing ever happened on that night.
That's our manifold built. That's our manifold built here. Everything needs to get welded up. I didn't test fit it on the car yet, so maybe I'll unbolt it. We'll test it on the car before we weld everything up and make it so you can't get it out anymore. Lots of welding to do though. There it is. That's it, boys. It's on there. All these just need to be welded up now, and that'll be that. And then we have to sort out our oil feed and return line issues. We gotta clock all these housings the right way. As you can see, our thing isn't perfectly straight. If I wanted to make this like 100% awesome, I would have built like a plate that I could have bolted all these to on the back to hold it in place, and then built my runners so they were all like perfectly equal, but it's not a big deal. It's gonna do the purpose that we wanted it to do. And it's not super half-assed, like it's still gonna be proper runners. we're letting everything cool down here a bit. Everything's getting hot, the torch is getting hot, the plate's getting hot, so we got a lot of it welded up now. Each one of these runners right here is welded. I need to do this, so I might build a heatsink plate for there as well. And all of these, a couple more around there. So we're getting low on argon. Hopefully we make it. I think we might, but might have to go get another bottle. I'm trying not to bore you guys with too much of building this manifold because I did that last episode. So we're gonna get it on here and then we're gonna start doing new things. Yes. Subscribe to the channel, why not? Take this time right here, this pause in the moment to subscribe. So I took a little bit of time and the last bit of my argon to weld this thing up. It's just like a T4 adapter, but I had to make it, I didn't back purge it, but I had to make it divided still. And that's just for the boys at the 881 crew. They needed something to tilt the turbo away from the strut tower because it was hitting the strut tower. That's what we came up with. It should work. Now, let's put our manifold here and bolt our turbos on. So, that's our completed manifold. Everything's welded up. Hopefully all our flanges are pretty flat. There it is in all its glory. Would you just look at it? Just look at it. How cool is that? Everything's all welded up. We do need to put a couple more bolts in the manifold here, but I mean, the whole thing is pretty solid. We're waiting for some flanges for the exhaust side. We're also waiting for fittings. I was actually debating for a long time on how I want to do the oil feed and return, since I didn't really want to buy $200 in A&N fittings. And then I ended up buying like $200 in A&N fittings. So we're gonna run -4 feeds. And then I'm thinking something like this for the return, just to build our little flanges and then weld some of these into the pan. For the feed, I was thinking like, how am I gonna split up 1-4 into 4-4s? But we do have a vacuum block here, which has 6 1/8 NPT ports on it. I did buy a different style of this. I bought an air compressor one that's just straight across. It has 6 on the top, so we'll use that. We'll plug those off. However, this would fit just on the front here somewhere. And then we have a bag of fittings. It's all JIC fittings. So, a couple straight fittings come out here. You make the line come here and then up to the top. From here up to the top, from there up to the top, here, and so forth. Because if you guys remember, the last guys who did this just sprayed WD-40 in the housings, which is probably not good lubrication to spin your turbos. So we're gonna legitimately put some oil in it. All right, this is what our oil pan is gonna look like. Taking one of these double end barb fittings, cut it in half, drilled 4 holes, and well, this one doesn't fit in there perfect, but this one will fit in there. We'll weld it from the inside like that. Do that for all 4. This one I had to kind of mess up the thing here, but we'll clean this up. We'll weld it on the inside, and then we'll have 4 returns. And we've got some like cheap soda hose stuff that we're gonna use for our return. And I think we're gonna have to make some flanges out of this plate and tap these fitting into it for the other side of our return. We'll start cleaning this up. We'll use a flappy wheel. Love these things. Mine's a little beat up right here, but it's just a sanding disc for your grinder. I love using that for cleaning up metal. Now our argon is literally on 0. Watch, I'll open it here. But this gauge is a little bit wacky, so we'll keep an eye on our flow gauge. But I think we're playing on borrowed time here, and we might have to go get a new bottle. Sad. Oopsie daisy. Gonna need to protect my meat beaters. So we had the door open and one of those fans going as well. Because I'm sure that galvanized steel fumes aren't good for you. So this is what we have. This one I made a little bit of a hole there. But now I'll have to clean out the pan and we can put that on. It'll be one step closer to being finished. For all you guys who are new to the channel, I didn't own a TIG welder until about 8 or 9 months ago, I guess. Maybe it was a year ago now. It was the winter time last year. And I'd never touched a TIG before in my life. I've never gone to classes or anything, but it's one of those things where if you practice, you just kind of pick up on it. So it's good practice, and if you're looking to get into doing your own fab work, then that was supposed to be an okay, but it looked like I gave you the middle finger. Get a TIG welder. It's fun. It's great fun, actually. And it's super helpful, apparently. So I tried to MIG weld that. The oil pan's back in with all our fittings there. They kind of line up to our turbo. I'll just come from down here. You can see the fittings down there. I don't know who the engineer at Honda is, but they were like, how many bolts do you want on the oil pan? And they were like, about 40. Let's just space them out like 1 inch apart. On the plus side, it's probably not gonna leak because the gap between each bolt is like this. Literally this big, 12 inches. In hindsight, I would have just ordered the little adapters if I knew I was gonna do this from the 2-bolt to whatever MPT. However, that would have taken like 2 weeks, and I don't have 2 weeks to wait now, so we got to try and make them out of aluminum. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of aluminum like this. I'm just going to drill a hole. We have a MPT tap here. We're just going to see if we can tap it, if we even get that far in it. So we're going to try that first. We did it! We made things. So our fittings will just fit into these things. I did step them so the threads are only on half of this material, not the whole thing, because trying to tap the whole thing would have been next to impossible. So now we just got to cut them out here, and then if they fit as squares, we'll use them as squares. If not, then I'll have to like Dremel them down. That was an annoying process. I have this on, so I'm probably yelling at you. And I'm gonna put this on because aluminum dust isn't good for your lungs, man. Hey, there they are in all their glory. I'm just gonna brake clean them off because they're full of stuff. You jerk. Fuck off. Close enough for me. I took these and I did a quick once over on the belt sander here to get them all flat so our gaskets will seal. I went to the hardware store and I bought some new bolts in various lengths. 2 different lengths because the bolts I had were too long. And we're gonna bolt those up, get our, I hope we have enough hose. How long is this? By 9 feet. Yeah, I think we have enough hose here. And then our turbo returns will be done, which was a big step. The next big step is gonna be get the oil feeds. I'm waiting on the M12 to dash 4 fittings. That's all I'm waiting for now. But they're quite a ways out, I think. I'm missing one, what the hell? Where did my other one go? Oh, I left it on here. That was silly of me. Don't you dare drop that bolt. Even when the camera's not on, I tend to talk to myself a lot. It's That's what happens when none of your friends come to the garage with you. What the hell? Where are all my homies at? Got hose. I got hose. Bam, bam, bam. We did it. 4 soda hoses going down to 4 bungs. I did put a bit of oil in each one of these. We're gonna put a couple of header bolts in. We're gonna put our wires on. We're gonna hook up the laptop. I'm gonna see if this thing fires up. Yep, I said it. So the exhaust is just gonna be firing at shit, but we won't run it for long just to see if it will run, because that'd be mighty cool of me. It'd be super cool of you, Kyle, if you just started up today. Like, you weren't supposed to do that this episode, but you're gonna do it anyways. We're also gonna cut off our other map sensor because there's 2 plugged into this. So cut this one off. We're just gonna open up Hondata here. See if we can just input some settings to see if we can get something that'll make it start. Fuel injectors. Current injector size 550. I don't know what the lag times are, so that's what you're getting. Map, that's what we need. Replacement map sensor. It's a, let's just call it this 3-bar. It's dead. Goes nothing again. I'm not ready to give you guys a video without it firing up. Come on, charge. It's on 25 amps, it's really charging.
For just a...
Oh yeah! I mean, we don't want to get stuff too hot, and there's only like a little tiny bit of oil in these things. You can see a little bit of oil dripping down in the hose. What? They were spinning! So next up, we got to put charge piping in it. The charge piping arrived at my house earlier today, and we need our oil feed fittings and to tighten down all the bolts on the manifold. They're a pain in the ass to do. Yeah. That's it, boys. We did it. Make sure to subscribe because we'll be coming back hard next time. Hard. Peace easy. Get that V.